Again, today we are going to discuss making face masks from stuff that you guys have at home. Actually, I found this on the CDC. Let me make sure I'm not telling you wrong. The CDC website, and I'm going to put all these websites at the bottom of this video. That way you can go back and look. Super cheap, and basically. And you can go on here and read it yourself. I just wanted to do a quick video on how to do these quickly at home if you needed one at home, or if you have someone at home, an elderly person that perhaps may need one. I've got I don't know how many messages about making face masks for just individuals, which is fine, and I don't care a bit to do it. But I'm making them for the hospitals and for healthcare workers first. They are our only defense in the hospital. They are on the front lines. If I was still working as a nurse in a hospital, I would be in there too, working without a mask or my homemade masks. So please consider that. Consider those people first before you consider someone that doesn't work in healthcare. And I understand everybody is like freaking out because of the media mass chaos craze that they've created, and yes, I do think that the media has caused a lot of this, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, according to the CDC, I just want to read this. It's critical to emphasize maintaining 6 feet of social distancing. This remains very important to slow the spread. The CDC is additionally advising the use of simple cloth face masks or face coverings to slow the spread of the virus and people who may have the virus and do not know it from transmitting it to others. The cloth face coverings recommended are not surgical masks or N95 respirators, which everybody's like freaking wanting one. I mean, y'all do not understand this stuff. You don't need those unless you are like this far from them. Healthcare workers need those types of PPE more so than you do. Sorry. If you're going to Walmart or Lowe's and you're shopping for some landscaping to do while you're off work, no, you don't need those. And I'm going to be really blunt when I say that. You do not need those kinds of masks. Save them for the healthcare workers that actually need them. Don't hoard that stuff. That is that's not going by the golden rule, Mel. Anyway, those critical supplies that must continue to be reserved for healthcare workers and other medical first responders are recommended by current CDC guidelines. Right here, black and white. I highlighted it for you. But one good thing about going to this website that I was not aware of is that the Surgeon General actually got on there and showed everybody how to make your own face mask without having to use a sewing machine. All you need is a t-shirt, which I thought this was appropriate. Of course, it's backwards, but it says Warriors. It was Colton's, my t-shirt for his football team 2 years ago, Warriors. So I cut a square out of a t-shirt and I just guessed on the size. He did not go into the sizing, but he did go into how you fold it. So you take one end and you fold it to the middle. You take the other end, fold it to the middle. Looks like this. Fold it again to the middle, like this, and then you fold the other end to the middle again, like this. So you have, geez, how many layers? 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 layers. 4 layers between. So you end up with this. You take 2 rubber bands. I do not have rubber bands, but I know most people have rubber bands in their house. I'm a cheer mom. I have cheer rubber bands. These are rubber bands that I have. Patty, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You got like 5,000 of these. Anyway, so you take your rubber bands. Let's see if you can see this. And you slip them on the ends of the mask. and you pull it towards the middle, like this. Put the other one on the other end, and you slip it towards the middle. So you end up with this. Let's see if you can see. It looks kind of sloppy, but honestly, when you put it on, and adjust it, it's a face mask. Now when you have a face mask on, regardless if it's this kind or if it's the kind that I make that look like surgical masks, when you're out in public, don't touch this. Please, don't touch it. Your hands are probably the biggest proponents of spreading something. You touch a surface, you touch this, somebody else has touched it. Touch this, rub your eye, touch your face, touch this mask. This is contaminated now. Everything you touch, it's all contaminated unless you go and wash your hands and don't touch a thing. But this is an easy, non-sewing way of making a face mask if people are that concerned, because I'll just go ahead and tell you, I'm making these for hospitals here in Florida. I'm making them for hospitals in Wisconsin, and I'm making them for hospitals back in Kentucky. They turned our Nutter Field House in Lexington into a hospital. So this is getting real, folks. I mean, and I'm only one person sewing, and I'm sewing for my friends that are healthcare providers. I'm sewing for healthcare providers I've never met before because I know they need these. So if you're at home and you feel the need to go out, the Surgeon General, this is what he recommends doing. A t-shirt cut with rubber bands, put over your face, around your ears. It's very simple. When you get home, I throw this away. Everybody has 1,000 t-shirts. Or you can wash it. You can take it home and wash it. I'd put Clorox in the water. That's what I recommended for my face mask, is to put Clorox in the water. Wash it, hand wash it in warm soapy water, put a splash of Clorox in it, and then rinse it out, let it air dry. Do not put it in the dryer because it'll shrink. Cotton shrinks. And then press it. But the t-shirt idea, it's not a bad idea. And also, with my face masks, I want to reiterate that when I make mine, I have a pocket in the back, and you can stick, and I've got tape on here so I won't get my makeup on it, because this is actually, I'm mailing these out to a hospital here in Florida Monday. I put a filter that I cut out of Walmart vacuum bags. I tried to research and find the best kind of filter. This is what I found that was the best kind of filter that you could get. So then I got to thinking, okay, well, I put these in here for, you're supposed to change them however you want to change them. I would change them, honestly, you're supposed to change a mask in between every patient, but there's no way that you can do that with cloth mask. There's just no way. Something else, I know I'm kind of hopping around all over the place here, but I want to make sure that I tell everybody this. I did go to the American Nursing Association, the ANA, and it specifically says, okay, myth, cloth masks are a good substitute for appropriate PPE, which is personal protection equipment. Fact, they do not provide appropriate protection. You can see on here, big X over the handkerchief, which is what basically our country is telling us now. This big X is now a big yes, because there's no other anything to wear. So, but it does say at the bottom, in addition, homemade masks do not meet the criteria for the state stockpile and procurement standards. According to the CDC Crisis Capacity Guidelines 317 of 2020, HCP use of homemade masks should only be considered in settings where face masks are not available. They're not available. So that means, yes, the t-shirt and the elastic is what we're going to have to use. Homemade masks are not considered PPE since their capability to protect HCP is unknown. They've not done any studies on them. They have no idea. So something is better than nothing. That's what they're saying. But I wanted to show you the t-shirt way, of the non-sewing t-shirt way, and then I wanted to show the vacuum bag, my vacuum bag way, I guess. If you want one with a filter and a disposable one, this is what these, and you can get them in all different sizes. I just picked whatever one was like $7 for 3 of them. This is what they look like when you get them out. See, they have this on each end. I pry this up and open both ends of them up so I get more, probably like 4 inches more. And then I cut the end of the bag. So here's the end of the bag cut off. And basically I did the same thing with this that I did with this. But this is disposable. You can't reuse this. Once you use it, you can't reuse it. You're done. You're done using it. So I took the vacuum bag, cut the end of it off, made it probably about 6 inches, 5-6 inches up and down vertically, and then however wide this is. Then I took the rubber bands again and tape. Of course, this is surgical tape, but tape. You can see what I'm doing here. It's the exact same thing that I did to the other one, except I'm taping them. So I'm taping this to this end, the other band on the other end. Fold that over. Get another piece of tape. Tape this end to that end. And then in order for it to stay flat against your face, I pinched the sides. And then I put a little piece of tape on each side to make sure that it stayed pinched and against your face. So that's what the inside looks like. There's the outside. So we're gonna pinch this right here. We're gonna take the other side, split the difference, pinch this side, tape this around, and then you open it up. And you might want to make it a little bit longer, depending on how big your face is. But it's actually closed. And if you have a problem, and there's a lot of people in surgery that do this number. See if you can see me doing this, if I can do it on the thing. You can put a piece of tape right over the bridge of your nose. And actually, you could tape this whole thing around your face, because you can still breathe through this. And it's double-sided thick, so there's two layers of this. You can tape underneath it here if you want. Put a piece of tape underneath your chin. And there you go. It at least has a filter in it, and it's not a t-shirt. So you can choose whichever one you want, but both of these ideas are easily done without sewing. And they're, oh gosh. And they're both not necessarily recommended, but the CDC is saying, you know, if you are unavailable, if they are unavailable face masks, which they are unavailable, even to healthcare providers, that it's better than nothing. So this is just my homemade way of doing a filter. Now I take these and I cut them up and I put them on the inside of mine that I make, because I made mine just like a surgical mask is made. And the way you put these masks on, and I didn't do it in my last video because I dropped the phone, sorry. I was always taught you take your mask, and most OR masks have a piece of metal at the top that you can form. Mine obviously don't. But then I got to thinking, wait a minute, you can go to Home Depot and get these thingies. These are for charts, and they're metal. They're like chart holders. This is sticky. So you stick this to your chart, and then you bend these up, and then you put your, this goes through the hole punch of the papers, see? And then you can either, take them in or out, or however you want to do it for your papers. I had these left over from the med spa. So what I did with these is I cut the two little wing thingies off, and I ended up with the middle sticky part that's metal, like this. You can put this on the outside of your mask, and clear, obviously it would be like a one-time use, but I mean, you get a whole bunch of these for like nothing. You can order them. You can also order them offline too from Home Depot, or you can go to Home Depot and get them. But anyway, so I was always taught, you form this to your face, you bring this up, you tie it in a bow, and you bring in, this fan folds out, fold this out. Your filter is still in here, by the way. This goes underneath your chin, back behind your neck, and you tie it in a bow, because obviously you want to get it undone eventually. This actually works pretty good. Or you can put a piece of tape on it. But this is the way an OR mask is worn. This has a filter in it, and it's got 2 layers of a cotton knit material in it as well. You can still breathe. You don't have to use this metal thing if you don't want to. It does do a good job of molding it to your nose, but an even simpler way is to take a piece of your surgical tape, or tape, whatever kind of tape, and tape it. You can tape it all the way around your face if you want. Now, like I say, this goes underneath your neck. This is the way an OR mask is made to be worn. Now, when you're out in public and you have a mask on, don't touch your mask. Don't touch the outside of it. When this mask gets wet, it's useless. That's one reason why I put a filter in mine, is because the filter will get moist from you breathing on it long before the outside of this will get moist. That's why I stuck a filter in, the same filter that I made this out of, this mask, same filter, I put in this. Actually, it's upside down. In this, there's a pocket here that it goes in. And I put tape on here so I wouldn't get makeup on it, because I did put some makeup on today. But you need to be able to breathe through it, obviously. But still, the best way of not contracting this is stay at home. Stay at home. Don't go in large crowds. I see all this stuff on, and I am I'll admit I was guilty at the beginning, but I will say, when we went to the beach for a few days over spring break, we didn't go to Clearwater. We went to Daytona, because Daytona, if you live in Florida, usually Daytona's got the better waves because it's on the other side. And there was nobody there. No one was there. So you're out in the open, you're by salt water, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, but the best way that you can prevent this from spreading, or from you getting it, or maybe you having it and be a carrier and not knowing it and spreading it to others, is if you just don't go around anybody. And if you do have to go around somebody, get your t-shirt out and make a makeshift Easy. I mean, it didn't take me, what, a minute? Less than a minute to make that? This took longer, but it's got a filter in it. And this is disposable. You can throw this away. You can order or get these vacuum bags. I got them from Walmart. I got 3 bags this size. Came in this box for $7, I think, and 40 cents or 80 cents maybe. Now I can cut out about 50 filters to go in these out of 3 bags. I don't know how many of these you can get out of one bag. Probably only 3 or 4. If you only wanted to make it 1 ply thick, you could still do that, and just cut it and just make it 1 ply thick. This is 2 ply. It's up to you. I mean, right now everybody's kind of doing whatever. I mean, it's a free for all. That's one reason why I wanted to do a video and kind of show everybody kind of how to wear them. Which brings me to my next pet peeve: gloves. I see people all the time, or I saw them before I started self-secluding myself inside, wearing these gloves. And these are the good ones. These are the natural gloves, the blue ones, the nice ones. So, you got your gloves on, right? When you put these gloves on, these gloves become your hands. So whatever you touch with these gloves does not make you invincible. You touch this, and then you touch your face, and you touch this, and you touch your face, and you touch this, and you touch your face. You mess with your eyes, and you mess with your mouth, and you go all over. You just defeated the purpose of wearing these gloves. These gloves need to be changed after you touch anything. And I mean anything. So, I'm not a big proponent or wanting people to say, hey, put gloves on when you go out in public. Wash your hands. Get some hand sanitizer, carry it in your purse. I mean, have some common sense about stuff. I saw a lady with gloves on, I saw a video with a lady with gloves on. She had a mask on too. Oh, she pulled her mask down with her gloves, licked her finger to get the bag open at the Walmarts to put her apples in the bag or whatever it was that she was buying. I mean, and then she puts her mask back up. I'm like, what? Why bother? Why bother? And another thing with gloves is the disposal of them and how you take them off. The proper way of taking gloves off, this is the surgical way. Gloves are the last thing to go on when you're gowning and gloving in the OR. Gloves are the first thing to come off unless you take them off. I mean, everybody does it differently, but typically they're the first thing to come off and they're the last thing to go on. The way I take my gloves off, or I always have, I pinch right here, because this, I know this is dirty. I know this is dirty. I pinch here. See how I put my finger underneath of there? Nothing on this hand was touched by this glove. I take this other hand, and look, it's gone, it's disappeared. It's a magic trick. And then you take this other finger underneath, like that. And you throw it in the trash. You don't throw it in the street. I've seen, I don't know how many of these, not even done this way, just thrown out in the street. Have some common sense. When you take these off, throw them in the trash. And try and take them off like this. This is the proper way of taking them off. You see, the inside of this, if you washed your hands before you put them on, which typically most people do, the inside of this is clean, but don't touch it. And if you do touch it, wash your hands. I mean, throw it in the trash. It's in the trash, okay? Go find you some soap and water. And guess what? 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Right like this. Wash them. Wash them really good. 20 seconds. Sing you a song. I don't know, a little ditty. Sing you a song. Wash your hands. Washing your hands is probably the biggest way of keeping that and not being around anybody, of keeping this from spreading. I don't think I'm telling anybody anything that y'all don't already know, but I don't think people really think about it when they get out in public, especially with the gloves and with the mask and the touching of the mask and then touching of everything else. I mean, that drives me crazy, because if you're in surgery and you're gowned and gloved and you're sterile, or you're supposed to be sterile, you can't touch stuff that ain't sterile. I mean, I guess that's where me and Mike are different and an anomaly, is because that's been our life for so many years, is working in the operating room and knowing what's sterile, what's not sterile, knowing all the precautions. And yes, it is very overwhelming if you're not used to that, and I get it. I totally get it. But if you're unsure of something or unaware of something or have a question, there's so many websites out there, guys. So many. There's so many people on Facebook that are medical professionals. Me, my husband, everybody that I'm friends with. I've got so many nursing friends. Send them a message. Ask them, hey, am I doing this right? Hey, is this okay? Ask. There's no shame in asking. There's no shame in looking this stuff up. I looked all this up so I would not tell anything incorrect. Now, the homemade PPE, I've never in my life seen so many self-proclaimed experts on this subject, when they're obviously, the American Nursing Association says there's no guidelines for it. Yet we have people on Facebook and YouTube and all these other little sites that are proclaiming, spray it down with Lysol. I sprayed my mask down with Lysol. That way they're all sterilized. I just want it noted, Lysol does not sterilize anything. It kills stuff, yeah. It'll kill germs. It will. It'll kill them. You spray this down wet and put it on, it's useless. Throw it in the trash with the rest of them. To the lady that was spraying her face mask down with Lysol, you're doing it wrong. Quit telling people to do it that way, because it's wrong. Serenity now. Anyway, that's another reason I'm going to do this video, is to clarify a lot of misinformation that is being given out by people who are not medical professionals, but think they are. And they're not. So either go to medical school, go to nursing school, or get online and get on the CDC's website. And I'm going to put the websites on here for you guys. And just go by this. Go by the recommendations. They're not hard. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Go to the bathroom, wash your hands. After you go to the bathroom, go wash your hands. I mean, seriously, I listen for the faucet in there after people go to the bathroom. Did you wash your hands? Go wash them. Because I know what's on them. And you ain't touching me with it. But, in short, maybe this has helped somebody. Maybe it's pissed a bunch of people off. Quite frankly, I don't really care, because I feel like I need to do this and to tell people and to show you how to make stuff. If you don't know how to sew, I've sewn since I was 5. I'm 43 in January. I've sewn a long time. But you can use household things to make masks out of. So please don't freak out about this. The media has done their job. They have caused mass hysteria and chaos. And I'm not saying that it's not, because as of today, Mike looked and he said, oh, well, there's 10,000 cases here in Florida now. So it's nothing to scoff at. It's nothing to disregard. And I'm not saying that, but all I'm saying is use common sense and wash your hands. Stay home. Don't go out in and if you do have to go out in crowded spaces, put something over your face. Even if it's a wash rag, put it over your face. I mean, it's not the best. No, it's not. The best needs to be safe for our healthcare professionals. Don't hoard that. They need it. They need it. They have families. I have 2 very close friends that are nurses. And they have little kids at home. You all have to think about that stuff. That's one reason why I sit up till midnight last night sewing for these face masks. Not just for them, but for all the nurses that I know. Almost all of them have children. They have family at home. You want to protect those people. Those are the people that are going to help you when you get sick. When they're gone, who's going to take care of you? Who's going to set all of that up? Doctors don't know how to set that shit up. I posted it on my Facebook earlier. They don't know how to set any of that up. The nurses do. The nurses run the hospitals. In case anyone missed it. The nurses run the hospitals. They run the nursing homes. They're the ones who are there with the patients. They're the ones breathing the patient's coughing in their face. Think about them. Think about the CNAs, the nursing assistants. My God, they have a as tough, or if not tougher, job than the nurses do. Think about those people. Think about the EMTs that are being called out and dispatched to go and get these people. Think about that. Think about all of those people that need the supplies. If you're hoarding them, that's what I'm saying. If you're hoarding them, they need them more than you do. If you're staying at home, or if you need to go out, or honestly, you don't need to go out for anything. They'll deliver. Amazon, as far as I know, they're still delivering stuff. You can still go through the drive-thru and get stuff. But please, just be patient, and this will end up going away eventually. Just like SARS went away. I mean, I guess went away, but I mean, we have these epidemics or viruses that scare the crap out of people every however many years, and they eventually go away. So let's try and not be part of the problem. Try to be part of the solution. Try to learn a new skill. Try to learn how to sew. It's not hard. I did tutorials on this. It really isn't hard. And I know everybody doesn't have a sewing machine, but you can get a needle and thread and sew. I mean, that's how I started. So I hope I didn't make too many people mad. And I'm not, like I say, I'm not a proponent of the glove wearing. I think that's a total waste, and I think it probably spreads more germs than not. You need to wash your hands. Wash your hands. And if you're out in crowded areas, make sure you cover your face with something. And we need to pray for all of our healthcare workers that they don't get sick. So anyway, hope y'all have a fabulous Saturday, and I hope I showed you how to make something neat without sewing. And I'll put the websites down at the bottom of this video. And if y'all have any other questions or anything, just either leave them at the bottom of my Facebook, or PM me, or I guess, because I'm gonna put this on YouTube as well, so maybe more people will watch it and make their own. So anyway, hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you later.